the concentration of both the ingredients are important. So the molecules of the ester as well as the alkali are going to equally participate in the reaction. So this reaction becomes a second order rate of reaction. Yeah? So here the concentration of the ester and the concentration of the hydroxide, that is the sodium hydroxide, are equally important. So when the hydrolysis takes place, we are going to get the sodium salt of the ester, that is nothing but the ethyl salt of the sodium salt of the ester, that is sodium ethyl acetate, and we are going to get the ethanol. Okay, so that's how the breakdown is going to take place. And here the concentration of sodium hydroxide as well as the concentration of ester is equally important in proceeding of the rate of reaction. So the reaction kinetics is going to be dependent on, the kinetic activities of both the sodium hydroxide as well as the ester. Here. So next what we will do is we have to take a burette, fill hydrochloric acid with a burette, because sodium hydroxide is being used for the hydrolysis. So definitely it is going to be an acid-based hydrogen. So the alkali has to be titrated against an acid. So this acid concentration is going to be 0.02 normal. And then we are going to take two beakers. In one of the beakers, you are going to add 50 ml of the ethyl acetate. Its concentration will be slightly changed. It will be 0.05 normal. And the same concentration, that is 0.05 normal of alkali, is going to be taken and same quantity. Okay. So you can see that the normalities are same, quantities are same. Only thing is they are, one is alkali and the other one is ester. So here both of them are important in contribution of the reaction. So that's called a second order rate of reaction. So take these ingredients into beakers, keep it for neutralization or equilibrium. Then after 10 minutes mix it. Then immediately prepare 10 ml. Then add 10 ml of ice cold water, 2 drops of phenolphthalein and titrate again 0.02 N HCl using phenolphthalein as an indicator. Note down the volume at time t is equal to 0 and continue and proceed it after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, 25 and 30 minutes. Clear? So there is no need for you to accelerate the rate of reaction here because there are two ingredients, both of them are participating, so the rate of reaction will be much faster. So the timing also should be taken very quickly, and we are adding ice cold water to stop the further rate of reaction. And here care has to be taken that the timing has to be noted down when the reaction has been proceeded. Okay? So here the main differences between the first order and second order is, in the first order rate of reaction only one concentration or one of the ingredient is participating in at a very high proximity, and another ingredient is concentration will be taken as null and white. And here in the case of second order, both of them are going to participate. So initially the rate of reaction will be very faster. In the later stages the rate of reaction reduces because the concentration of both these ingredients are going to deplete. Yeah? And when we plot a graph between the concentration with respect to time, we are going to get a positive slope in case of second order rate of reaction. And here the formulas are also going to be totally different. The formula for K is going to be equal to X divided by A into A minus X into T. Okay, so that's how the rate of reaction for the second order is going to be. Clear? And for T half, it is going to 1 by A into K2. Okay, that's this is T half for the second order. So we'll just show you how the proceeding is. I'll just show the experimental part now. Clear? A tabular column for the second order rate of reaction. You should make up the tabular column very clearly because you'll be noting down the volumes, right? So this is the serial number, the time in minutes. It will be from 0 minute, that is immediately the moment you mix it, you have to titrate, okay? So that is 0, then next 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20, 30, 25 and 30 minutes, okay? Now the volume of hydrochloric acid used, okay? This hydrochloric acid which you are using is 0.02 normal, okay? That volume you have to use. Now the first value which you are going to get, you will take it as A, okay? The next values which you are going to take it will be A minus X. All these values will come as A minus X. So don't get confused for anything, okay? Whatever value which you are going to get, how much quantity has been used. Suppose I take A as the initial volume, as say it has taken as say 2 ml it has taken. Then after that the volume used is 3 ml. So you have to just write 3 ml here. Okay? So that is going to give you A minus X. So these values you are going to get. Don't get confused with this A minus X values. Okay. Then next what you are going to do is you will be taking the volume of the ester which has got decomposed. To find out that you will be using the formula X is equal to A minus X. Then you will be finding out A into A minus X, the value, the initial value with the values of the volume used at different time intervals. That value you are going to take. And X divided by A into A minus X, that value you are going to take. From that you can find out the K value. Okay, K is equal to X divided by A into A minus X. At different time intervals you can find out. Then you take the sigma of the values which you are going to get. From that you can calculate the T half. So next we will go with the this in the chemicals which we have prepared and kept. So here we are having 0.02 normal HCl which has been filled in the burette. Always fill it in a proper way so that you can have easy access to the reading. Then next you have got to have the pre-preparation you should finish. This is 0.05 N ethyl acetate. This is 0.05 N sodium hydroxide. Then this is ice cold water. This is an extra distilled water which you have kept. This is phenolphthalein which you have kept here. Now what we are going to do is we will take 10 ml of the ice cold water and
okay, done. Continue.
What you have to do is you will be taking 10 ml of the ice cold water initially, and then you are going to pour it into the conical flask and keep it ready. After this you will be adding 1 or 2 drops of phenolphthalein and keeping ready. Okay, so this is how you have kept it. Now what you are going to do is you are going to take the contents of both, that is the ester as well as the sodium hydroxide, and because they have attained the neutralization and equilibrium has attained of the temperature, what you have to do is you will take it out and mix it. Okay, so the moment you are going to mix the contents, you will have to do the pipetting. So you should be very careful. Okay, so this is how we are going to do it. So you are going to mix it. The moment you mix it, you have to immediately stir it and pipette. Okay. Okay, it's exact 10 ml. I am taking 10 ml of it and I am going to pipette. See here, in the first order you saw that the initial color was colorless. Okay, because phenolphthalein is colorless in an acidic medium. Now we are going to take sodium hydroxide has been added, so it is giving a pink color. So the color change is going to be probably pink to colorless. So now you have to do the titration. So initial volume you have to note down. So the timing we have already seen that it is 0 minutes. So you are going to start the titration like this. Okay. You can note down the timing. So. The moment it becomes colorless, that's the volume you are going to take. Yeah. See?
Colorless.
Yeah, it has become colorless. Now the color was pink to colorless. Now you note down the value, how much it has been used. It is around 21.5 ml. Okay. So this is going to be 21.5 ml. That's the initial volume. Okay. At time t is equal to 0, the volume used of sodium hydroxide is around, of HCl used is around 21.5 ml. So please see the time. Okay.
Start किया.
Now next 1 minute is there. So I have taken 10 ml of ice cold water and 1 drop of the phenolphthalein. Now the next titration I am going to do. So you see it is becoming pink. So in phenolphthalein is pink colored in presence of an alkali. So giving a pink color. Next we have to do the titration. You have to be very fast in doing the experiment. Yes, you got that end point. It is 30. So I'll just note down the value as 30. Okay. So this is T5. Okay. Then I'll just put the values in the next thing. Okay. So the next next value is going to be for time t is equal to 10 minutes. Ice cold water has been added. Another 10 ml is being pipetted of the mixture, and immediately 5 minutes are over. So the next titration is being done. Second order proceeds faster, so you can do it by taking a lesser time. Yeah. So you can see that pink color will disappear when the acid quantity is going to be higher. So whatever volume being used is called as A minus X here. Yeah, you are going to get the endpoint. Yeah, the endpoint, 1 drop is going to make a change. Yes. Yes, sir. It has come. So value? 38.1. Okay, 38.1. Okay, so next, this is for which experiment, sir? Which thing? No? You are going to go for the third one. 15 minutes. Okay. Huh? Yeah, 1 minute is still there. You have to proceed faster. Rekha, on the Rekha. Conical flask. Andanda irukudhu. Wash panni kuduthirunga. Yeah. Wash pannunga. So the phenolphthalein is being added. Now immediately the next set has to be titrated. Yeah, you don't get time, so you have to be quick in doing the work. So here also we are adding ice cold water to stop the further reaction. Both the cases you can add. Yeah. तो जल्दी करो. Yeah, the end point has come. Yes, the end point is attained. So value? 46.5. Okay, so you go for the next one. Rekha, just watch this. You can fill and comes, yeah, get some. And now again 10 ml of ice cold water is being taken, and then phenolphthalein will be added. The next 5 ml of mixture, 10 ml of mixture will be taken, and burette has to be refilled. burette has to be refilled. Refilling of the burette is being done. Yeah, now the titration has to be proceeded. Time is up. You can see that end point is coming. Yes, the end point has been obtained. Now the last reading has to be taken at T30. This is the last reading which we have to take now at time t is equal to 30 minutes. Yeah, the end point is going to nearly come. One more drop. Yes, it has come.
Reading is 15.8.
So with this we complete the experiment. Next we have to do the calculations. Okay? Experiment is over. Once the experiment is over, you will be taking down this tabular column. For different time intervals, you will be writing the volume used of HCl, and accordingly you will calculate. And for every value, you will be getting the value of K. Once you get the value of K, you take the sigma. That sigma value is the rate constant for second order, which is given in liters per mole per minute. Then here what you can do is you can calculate the T half also. So the T half which is there, it is given as 1 by A into K2. So the value of A is it is around 21.5. Into the sigma K2 you can take 0.0050. Okay, so this value will give you the T half. Okay, so this will be in terms of minutes. Clear? Next what you have to do is you have to take a graph, and then you have to plot time on the x-axis, and you'll have to plot the y. You'll have to, on the y-axis you'll have to plot x divided by a into a minus x. This value you'll have to plot it, and then you'll get a straight line. From this straight line you can plot the slope. So the slope is going to be as a positive slope. So I'm just drawing it roughly over here. So this value of y by x, so you take the y by x is equal to slope, okay. So from here also you can calculate the value of, you can find out the value of k as well as t half here. So both the ways you can find out the value of
Okay.
okay, so once you calculate the t half from the experiment way, you will be calculating k2 as well as the t half, and then you are plotting it on the graph. So in graph also you can find out, you are going to get a positive slope for the second order rate of reaction. Now here you are plotting the time on the x-axis, and on the y-axis you are plotting x divided by a into a minus x. So here you will be getting a positive slope. When you take the slope, y by x is the slope, that value is going to be equal to k, okay, the reaction rate constant. From that value you can find out the t half, okay. So t half is equal to 1 by a into k2. So here what are the interpretations we can get here is, t half is half-life, that is the time taken for half of the initial concentration to be reduced to, and it is expressed in minutes. And k is a reaction rate constant, which is indicating how fast the reaction rate proceeds. So we can see that the reaction rate constant in this case it is again concurrent. We are getting concurrent readings. So that means the reaction has followed the second order rate of reaction. And here it is very pretty fast, and after some time the reaction starts slowing down. It has been found that in the second order rate of reaction, we find the values of k are calculated by using different formulas, and it is expressed in terms of liters per mole into minute, whereas in the first order it is minutes to the power of -1, and there the slope is negative in case of the first order. Here it is a positive slope we are getting. The t half in first order is 0.693 divided by k. And here it is 1 by a into k2. Okay, so these are some of the differences we can see, and that is an acid hydrolysis. Here it is an alkali hydrolysis, and in both the cases you have to be quick in taking down the readings, and even a small decimal of ml plays an important role. The time has to be managed very quickly. The time has to be noted down exactly after 5 minutes, exactly after 10 minutes. The titrations are to be done. Ice water has to be added to stop the further rate of reactions, and temperatures have to be maintained in case of first order rate of reaction, that is acceleration has to be done because it's a slow process, and in case of the second order it's a fast process, so there's no need for you to heat it towards the end. So that's how, these are the two differences you can see. Clear?